Hi, this is Mitch Mitchell of TT Mitchell Consulting. If you saw the last video, you'll notice that I'm probably wearing the same clothes. Actually, I am wearing the same clothes. I actually had to do this one the same day, so I've actually done this yesterday because tomorrow is travel day. I'll be packing up the room. Everything will be out of the room tonight. I will then leave tomorrow, leave the hotel, go to work, and when I leave the hotel, I won't be back, and I'll be in airports for the rest of the time until, actually Saturday morning. So I won't be in any single place where I'll be able to upload a video. So I will upload this one after midnight on Friday. That way I continue my quest to have a video every single day in June. But you don't care. So let's talk about this. I've been doing these videos and, I've realized that I haven't necessarily been as crisp as I would hope I could be. Truth be told, when I do speaking engagements, it's the kind of thing where you know way in advance when you're going to do a speaking engagement. So what I do is I create an outline and I go through the whole thing, and I always work from outlines. I don't write a full speech or anything. You're doing a presentation. I don't write full things. I may have certain things that I use during the presentation to give people, if we're going to do workshops or such. But in general, I have an outline. And then what I do is I go into my living room and I rehearse. And the reason I rehearse in the living room is, one, it's got a lot of space, and two, my wife has 4 mirrors up on the wall. So I can practice, looking this way and looking this way and walking a little bit and step forward and step back. And I can see myself in these mirrors. Now, one of the strangest things about this particular video and the videos from the last couple of weeks is that I'm actually facing a mirror. I got this mirror right in front of me. And every once in a while, you've probably not even noticed it, but I will move my hands and it may not show up here, but it shows up on the mirror. And so suddenly I'm looking at myself saying, oh goodness, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, And you're probably wondering, why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because one of the things that people are always grasping for, and they use this as an excuse not to do something, is that they're not going to be perfect at it. Oh, I may make a lot of mistakes, or I may look stupid, or I can mess up, or whatever. And, if we are always going to shoot for perfection, we're never going to get anything done. You know what? Nadia Comaneci had a 10 in the 1976 Olympics. Not many folks have had perfect since then. A few have, in gymnastics, that's how it works, but it almost never happens in skating because of, some judges are just wrong. I'll just say that. I like to sometimes watch the women's ice skating. Some judges really are for their own country than anything else. I'm not accusing anybody, I'm just telling the truth. But, almost nothing comes with perfection. If you see a pro tennis player beat another tennis player, every set ends in love, that sounds like, wow, that was a perfectly played game. But you know what? They probably lost some points in those games. So there's nothing. There's no real perfection. You throw a 300 game in bowling, you probably at least had 1 or 2 shots where that pin kind of dodged a little bit and said, I guess I'll fall. And I've never had a perfect game in league play. I stopped bowling years ago, but I got close. I had the first 10 once, so there you go. I've seen perfect games, so I know how that works. So, it's one of those kind of things where, we like to try to be as good as we can, and we always hope for perfection. But perfection is just one of those utopian theories, Almost no one ever gets there. And when they get there, they never get back. A couple of days ago, actually, yeah, it was a couple of days ago, Geez, was it? Yeah, that's right, because I'm doing this ahead of time. A couple days ago, it was the 5th anniversary of Michael Jackson passing. And that's a big deal to me because I was a major Michael Jackson fan. Truth be told, when he had his Off the Wall album, he was upset because he won a couple of Grammys, but there's a lot of categories he didn't win on. And he was upset by that. So basically he said, my next album is going to be the perfect album and it's going to win everything and he's going to crush it. And Thriller was the product that came out. And it wasn't necessarily perfect. I mean, I loved the album. I loved every song on there. But I'll say, that one little song, I Just Can't Stop Loving You, was a little weak. But he at least got that one out first. So everyone knew what was coming. And then the album just took off. Best-selling album in history. I mean, yeah, let's just say that. So you would think he would be ecstatic. That album won award after award after award. No, because then he said, I've got to top it. And there's nothing wrong with always trying to do your best. But when you've got your mindset that you have to top what you did before every single time, even when you've done something that no one else could possibly do, you're going to drive yourself nuts. And I'm not necessarily going to say that Homeboy drove himself nuts, but I am going to say that I think that he tried to live up to a standard that was impossible to reach. A lot of folks who may be younger don't understand that, you know, Michael Jackson gets credit for saving the music industry. But at that time period, even though he had the boss album of all times, Bruce Springsteen had a monster album. Prince had a monster album. U2, not U2, but the group U2, they had a monster album. There was something about the 80s where there were certain people who came out around that exact same time and had these albums that just blew everything else out the water. You don't see any of that now. You just don't see that. I don't know that you'll ever see that again. I think that was a specific time period where, it was just, well, it was a time period where MTV actually played music. Yeah, I said it. VH1, when it came out, actually played music. Yeah, I said that too. They actually used to play music videos. They have music video awards now, but they don't show any videos. What am I going to say? So what I'm going to say here, once again, is you have to do something. Don't be scared to do something because someone might not like it or it may not be perfect. You know what? For what it's worth, I wrote a book on leadership. I wrote a book on social media marketing. I'm working on a second ebook, second book of former newsletters and early blog posts. I wrote 2 newsletters for years. I wrote one of them for 10 years. I have 5 blogs. I do all this stuff. I've written articles for other people. I still write other people's blogs and articles for those things. So I do a lot. But if I had to sit there and worry all the time about perfection, making sure every word got there, I wouldn't do anything. I would never. How would you ever finish? So, as a matter of fact, if you wouldn't finish, why would you start? So, please, get off the perfection thing. Lighten up a little bit. Do some things. Take some chances. What's the worst that can happen? You put something out there, someone didn't like it. Woo. That's my point. So, there you go. This is number 27. I know it seems weird doing it a day ahead, but there you go. I just want to have this day. So now the next 3 days should go fine. So, like I said, this is Mitch Mitchell, T.T. Mitchell Consulting. Believe in yourself. Get out there and do something. You take care.